Hi friends, this is Terry Squires with Today's Nashville. I sat down with husband and wife duo, Grace and Max, and they shared their music and her story of depression and how God's love brought her through. There is a place you can go at any time that is loving, safe, and full of grace. It is in the presence of the Lord. Husband-wife duo, Grace and Max, created music marked by rare chemistry, heartfelt storytelling, and a shared desire to point listeners towards Jesus. But it hasn't always been easy. Max shares that for the past 10 years, there hasn't been a single day Grace hasn't faced depression in some form. And Grace shares that she holds on to truth, that she is here for a purpose, a life worth fighting for. Today, they are sharing their new single around the world, Better Place. This is their story. This is Today's Nashville. This is Faith. Grace, Max, what a blessing it is to have you on Today's Nashville. Welcome.
Thanks for having us. This is so much fun.
I am so excited to have you. You two are young and have been doing so much. Tell me about how you got started.
So we first met when it was 2021, and we actually met at an open mic night in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And I went up to Grace and started talking to her.
Were you downtown?
It was at Tennessee Brewworks, if you know where that is. Yeah. And they do like an open mic night every Monday. And so we were there, and I started talking to Grace. And I mean, from her perspective, she'll tell you that she wasn't very interested, but I thought she was really cute. And at first I didn't think she was a Christian. And so I was like, oh, I don't know, like, we'll see. But then she told me she does Christian music. And now and then I was like, now I'm really interested. And so that was.
Okay, Grace, your perspective.
So I was 20 years old, living in Nashville. I had just moved here. Max was a freshman at Belmont University here in Nashville. And so we went to Tennessee Brewworks, and I saw him, and he started talking to me, and I could tell that he was interested in me, but he was like, I'm a freshman at Belmont. So I was like, oh, like, you are a kid. Like, you are just way younger than I am, and I'm here, I'm trying to sing. So I actually told him I was doing Christian music to try to get him to go away, because where we were at Tennessee Brewworks is not necessarily a setting that somebody would necessarily play Christian music. And that was just part of my ministry at the time. Like, I really just wanted to play Jesus music in bars. And so
that's what you were doing, open mic?
Yeah, I just wanted to go to a bar and spread the gospel. I'd been doing that since I was 16 and when I lived in Texas. But Max kept talking to me, and then he didn't go away. And we just got to talking, and I just really enjoyed our conversation. And he eventually asked me on a date, and I was like, okay, like, why not? I'll give him a shot. Like, he seems nice enough. And then after our first date, the rest was history. And we just kept doing music together and playing out and about at all the different local spots in Nashville. And people just kept assuming that we were a duo, even though we had our totally separate things going on. And we started getting opportunities as a duo. And we didn't want to be a duo yet, because we were just dating, or we were engaged at this time. Like, we were engaged, like, that's a lot of pressure on a dating relationship, like, maybe when we're married, like, maybe down the road. And it was.
So were you doing things on your own, and you were doing things on?
Yeah, so we were both pursuing a solo career in music. I was doing more pop music, and Grace was doing Christian music, and we were kind of both separately pursuing our own careers while at the same time supporting each other, of course, helping each other out where we could, like I played guitar for Grace, she'd sing background vocals for me. And so that was really cool. And we never thought, or at first we didn't think like the duo was even an option. I remember I said to Grace one day, I was like, what if we did like a duo project one day? And we thought we would just do like an EP or an album or something like that. We never thought it would be a full like artistry. And so it was kind of cool to see how we went from, God can change, like you can have in your head this great plan for your life, but then God can say, no, I have something else. And so it was really cool to see, like, we didn't even think that was possible. I didn't even think it was like a good option. And then God blessed it and said, no, go this way.
Well, I want to hear what would happen when you got up in one of the bars downtown Nashville and start singing about Jesus.
Yeah, it was honestly really cool. And it was I miss doing it. I don't do that anymore. But I really miss going downtown and doing that, because there would be some reactions where people would be annoyed that I was there and just roll their eyes. And I would just sing my original songs, but I would come from a place of like, this is my story and this is what I've gone through and this is my testimony. And that's something I feel like is nobody can take that away from me. Like, everybody has their own story. Everybody has stuff that they've gone through. And when you can stand up and say, I've been through this and I am on the other side of it and I love the Lord and he got me through it. Or even if you're in the middle of it, it's like, I'm still choosing to trust the Lord. It brought a lot of really cool conversations. There was a lot of people searching for the Lord and they didn't know it. And so there was a lot of really fruitful conversations that would happen. And then some people just didn't want to hear it. So some people would leave, but I'm like, you know what? That's out of my control. It's not for me to control. It's just for me to share. And it was really cool. We should do it again soon, honestly.
So how many, every open mic you would go and?
Yeah, I would just, every open mic, so like Tennessee Brew Works is one that's pretty popular. There's one in Leaper's Fork. And I would do it in Texas too at different restaurants. And any open mic, any writers round, just anywhere I could play, basically, I would just go and just sing my songs about Jesus. And
what would be some of the conversations that people would come up to you? Do you remember anybody? Did anybody ever receive the Lord from talking to you, or?
I wasn't there for anybody to receive the Lord, but I really believe that the Lord used that to plant some seeds. And so I don't know, like maybe when I get to heaven one day, I'll find out like, hey, the Lord used you at that open mic night or at that bar. But I think there's just a lot of people who would just ask me questions like, why do you still believe? Or like, why do you trust God? Or like, or people would open up honestly and be really vulnerable and share their own story and just tell me what they've been going through. And I would just give them the best advice that I could and just talk them through a little bit. And, I don't know where that led in their life, if it led anywhere or maybe it will down the road. Like, I just don't know what the Lord is going to do with that in their life. And it was just cool to just be along for maybe their journey of life in a key moment.
That's so precious. So you got married?
Yes, in 2024. So we've almost been married 2 years.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
How's married life?
It's been great.
So many people told us that the first year was going to be so hard, but honestly, it was so amazing. It was great. Yeah, we got married, and then 2 days later, we hopped on the road and started touring as a duo together.
So was that the time when you knew that God was bringing you together as a duo?
Yeah, he really brought our ministries together at the same time that we got married.
What were you thinking, Max, during this whole time?
I mean, especially during when we got married. So the kind of quick backstory is an artist we tour with, his name is Sean Rodriguez. He asked us to go on. We know
Sean. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's awesome. And he asked me at first if I was interested in going on tour and playing keyboard for him. And then he also asked if Grace and I would like to open for him. But he specifically said, would you and at the time she was my fiance, would you and your fiance want to open for me? But the kind of fun fact is that we were not officially a duo yet. And so we kind of took that as confirmation from the Lord, like, oh, let's try this out. Let's see what it's like to be an official duo, and let's go on the road this summer. And
Grace, you've been dealing with a lot of struggles, and God has taken you through a journey. You've written a song about it, and we're going to listen to it when we come back. Grace, I read that there isn't a day that doesn't go by that you deal with depression. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
So I have dealt with depression for the past 10 years of my life, and a lot of that comes from my childhood. And early on in life, I had a lot of grief and a lot of loss, and that led to a lot of anxiety. I was 7 years old, 8 years old, just having panic attacks every single night before bed, just so afraid to die and just so scared of losing another person or
Who'd you
loss.
lose?
So early in my early childhood, my family went through, and it wasn't even through death for this one, but my family, we went to go adopt my sister, and the adoption ended up falling through. So this girl that I thought was going to be my sister we flew to the Ukraine, ended up just not being able to be in our lives because of some other circumstances, and it was just such this deep grief that I held. And then actually right before that, my mom at around 30 weeks had a miscarriage. Mm-hmm. And so it was just another girl. So it was just back-to-back loss. And it was really hard for me because I was 5 and 7 at that time. And it was one of those things that completely shifted my brain. And I didn't know how to process it when I was so little. But I carried it in my body, and it carried with me throughout my life. And I was just so anxious and so afraid. And I grew up in a Christian family, but it wasn't until I was 8 I heard the gospel in a new way, and it completely changed my mentality and my perspective. And I truly heard the gospel for the first time. And in that, the Lord started taking away my anxiety. However, as I kept growing with the Lord and just kept learning about him and putting my trust in him, it didn't mean that my grief went away and that my hurt went away and my pain. And in high school, I ended up losing a friend that passed away unexpectedly in a car accident at 16. And I would say and when that happened is when my depression really just began taking over my life and really just began consuming my thoughts and what I thought about God and my motivation to get out of bed, and just everything that I had thought I had worked through just came flooding back in this grief and this heartache and this hurt. It really just affected every ounce of my life. And even when Max and I met, I was still really going through a lot of hard times. And as we began dating and I was able to, open up a little bit more, and especially like after we got married, was like fully able to like open up and what I'd been through and gone through. And Max, there's been days that he has really had to see me struggle and to really grieve and to really process. And so I've been in therapy this whole time, and through my whole time of dealing with depression, I had tried everything in my power to just keep fighting and keep going and keep trusting the Lord and choosing to believe him. And there was this one day that I was just in so much grief and just so depressed, truly. And I was reading my Bible, and it was Genesis 50, verse 20. And it says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, for the saving of many lives." And in that moment, I feel like my perspective shifted. And it was like, you know what? Just because God allows something bad to happen does not mean that he's the one doing that bad thing to you. And he's going to take what was meant for evil and take the loss and the hurt and the pain and use it for good and for his glory. And obviously, it's not like after that, I'm like, oh, I'm all better. I'm not depressed anymore. Like, I still struggle with it, but it's in a way where I just take that into consideration and just say, God, like, I don't understand, but I'm going to choose to trust you in this loss and in this grief. And I began just trying everything that I could and just going on walks and exercising and, trying to read my Bible and all of these things. But it was a year ago, pretty much exactly, where I was just in a really bad spot with my depression, and Max was just having to do so much for me. And I was like, this is not fair to Max.
What was going through your mind, Max?
Honestly, it was kind of a learning curve, one that's worth it, of course. But it was definitely a learning curve to learn. It's learning your person and learning how they react to certain things, what things they're more sensitive to. And there becomes this kind of unexplainable, I don't know what you're going through, but I know how to support you. And I think my encouragement to anyone out there who has a spouse who is struggling with depression, I would just say that something I had to learn was it was really hard for me because I like to like fix things. Like if I see a problem, I want to find the solution. And every time I felt like I found a solution, that's not what Grace needed. She just needed support and for me to be there and just be present. And so being able to take your hands off the reins and learn to just be there and be supportive and be encouraging, that's the most help you can have. And then if there's anything specific, then she'll let me know. But it's not my job, and it's not for anyone out there, it's not your job to fix it.
How's your faith helped you through this?
Absolutely. I mean, being able to like go on my own and pray for patience and pray for peace and pray for strength to help Grace through this. And without my faith, it would have been, I think I would have gone into a spiral potentially.
Like where you would have had to take it on, like felt like you had to take it on and not trust that God was going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Did you know before you got married that she dealt with issues with depression?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't, right. Yeah. Before we got married, this was ongoing, as you were saying, since your childhood. And so you made that very clear to me when we first got married. When we first started dating. You made it clear to me when we first started dating that this was something that you were going through, something struggling with. And you were very open about it and very like honest about it, which I always appreciated.
Is this what you share on open mic?
Part of it, parts of my story. I feel like everything has just kind of been influenced by what I've gone through. And so sometimes when I pray before, it's just kind of what was needed and what I felt like the Lord was placing in my heart. Like this is where you can go into detail, or like this is maybe not, or like it just kind of depended on the setting. And in those conversations that I had afterwards was normally where I would open up a bit more if somebody was asking about it, or but I definitely talked about my depression and just things that I'd gone through. And I feel like it's something that so many people go through. Like this is my story, but there's so many stories just like this every single day. Like it's insane and it's really sad and heartbreaking to know that I'm not the only one. Like as comforting as it is, it's also really sad to know that. And it's like something that it's like your brain chemicals are imbalanced. Like there is something going on in your brain that is like you can't control. But it is something that it's like you can take steps to get the help that you need, and you can work through things and process. And as you go and as it ebbs and flows, it's not a linear healing journey, but it's one where it can be, a few steps forward or a few steps back. And something that really helped me with last year was starting medication. And it was something that I wasn't against it, but I was like, I just don't like taking medicine in general. And it was just something where I was like, you know what, if this is going to be a tool that God is going to use in my life to help me get back into the Word, to help me have motivation to get out of bed every day and to do the things that He's called me to do, like it's worth trying it. And it was something that completely changed my life, honestly. Like the Lord has used medication in my life, and I feel like I can see colors again.
You wrote a song, your new song, right?
Yes.
Better Place?
Yes.
Will you sing it for me?
We would love to sing it for you. This is Better Place is for anybody who has been struggling the same way I have. And it feels like Max is singing this song to me, and then that we get to sing it to other people. So
yeah, and we hope this song is an encouragement to anyone who's feeling like their life isn't worth it or feels like they don't have a purpose in this world. This is our encouragement to them that the world truly is a better place with them in it.
You didn't ask for the cards, you were down, left on your own, left here with no help. Had to walk through hell without a choice. You didn't get the chance to see the world in the way that a child should. became someone else to stop the noise. You should never have to be alone. You were never made to carry this weight, but you've gotta know that you'll be okay. Take his hand and he'll make a way. Don't ever say that you are finished, 'cause the world's a better place with you in it. I can't see life without you, dear. I don't know what I'd be without you here beside me, holding my hand. You should never have to be alone. You were never made to carry this weight, but you've gotta know that you'll be okay. Take his hand and he'll make a way. Don't ever say that you are finished, 'cause the world's a better place with you in it. Oh, with you in it. Don't you dare lose hope. I can't stand to see you go. You were never made to carry this weight, but you've gotta know that you'll be okay. Oh, so take his hand and he'll make a way. Don't ever say you are finished, 'cause the world's a better place with you in it. Oh, with you in it. The world's a better place with you in it.
It's beautiful. Thank you. We're going to talk about your better place and what God is doing in your life when we come back. Grace, you're in a better place. Did you write that song?
Yeah, we actually wrote that one together. We wrote it last September during Suicide Prevention Month. And we were originally waiting to release it for this September, but we decided that after talking with some people that it would be, we don't want to just withhold it. I feel like it's a message that we want to share with people. And so it was kind of the sooner the better that we could get it out.
Did you ever get to a dark moment where you just didn't want to get up in the morning?
Oh, absolutely. There was so many times. Like, I wish I could say I can remember each one, but there were so many moments in the past 10 years where I just didn't want to be here, that I didn't want to keep fighting, that I didn't want to keep going. And there were some really dark times, honestly, but the Lord, He kept me here every single time, and He reminded me of His goodness and that He is here for me and that He works all things for good in those moments. And it's one of those things, it's like, looking back now, I can see that, but in the moment, I couldn't see it. But it's like, now that I'm here and in this place that I'm at right now, it's like, you know what? He's gotten me through all of those moments. He's going to get me through the rest of them.
Where is He taking you? You know, you're young, you have a record deal, you're touring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're really excited to see where the Lord takes us next. And truly, like, one thing that makes life so exciting when following God is you don't know where He's going to take you next. Like, even like this next season, we're going to be on tour.
With Sean Rodriguez.
Again. We're going to be playing some festivals we're super excited about, and releasing a ton more music this year.
Are you writing your own music?
We do, yeah. So all of the songs that we've released has been just us writing them, and then Max produces all of our songs. So he's very humble, so he wouldn't tell you that he produces our songs, but he is an amazing producer. And then we've been writing with some other amazing writers as well, hoping to release some of those.
What inspires your songs?
It's comes all from a place of like, this is our ministry. And so before we write a song, we want to say like, okay, Lord, like, what do you want us to remind people of? And the root of it is how much Jesus cares for us, and how we always go back to Matthew 6 about how if he gives the birds what they need and he clothes the grass, like how much more does he care about us? Like he didn't die for the birds, he didn't die for the grass, but it's like he died for us. And so that is just kind of like the roots of all the songs that we write. And then I don't know whether it's another verse that it comes from or an experience or I mean, there's so many things, like so much inspiration that we draw from.
Max, where's your faith right now?
Honestly, one of my favorite verses that I keep meditating on is Proverbs 3, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. And so I've seen the Lord. There's been a lot of little leaps of faith we've had to take in the past few years. And I really feel like this year the Lord I feel comfortable, like super confident in my faith in the Lord that he is our provider. He is our main provider, and that he is our sustainer, and he is going to make straight our paths. And the more I try to lean on what I know, like if I'm looking at finances and I say, how's that going to work out? I have to remember back to what the Lord has done for us. And then when I remember that and I lean on him and not my own understanding, I feel like there's this peace. And we have a God who is the God of peace, and true peace comes from him and from knowing him and his character. And so I really feel like my faith is in a great place right now. And I just have such confidence in the Lord, and truly, like, I know that whatever is happening and what is going to happen, he has his hand on 100%.
I love it. I love what he's doing, love your ministry and music, and I pray many blessings on you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
My friend, are you in a dark place? Just remember what Grace and Max said, that there is a better place. It's Jesus. Hang on to his hand. He will get you through. This is today's Nashville. This is faith.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.
Hi, this is Terry Squires with today's Nashville. This is Faith. I have Monica, beautiful Monica Schmelter with Bridges in the house today, and you won't want to miss her episode. What did we talk about?
Oh, we talked about how God has worked in my life and how through prayer he brings about miracles.
And you know what? Don't stop praying for those that you want to know who Jesus is.
Because he wants to bring people to the Lord. And so when we dare to have faith, he moves.
He does. You won't want to miss her show.